Hey, what's up you guys, it's Nay, and I am back with another video and another edition of Almost Adulting. So I'm going to be giving you guys 5 of my top tips and advice for budgeting effectively. These things are things that I've done that I find work best for me. I'd say I've always been pretty good with budgeting and managing my finances, and that's just because I am pretty, I'd say, frugal naturally. I don't like spending money unnecessarily. I don't like other people spending money unnecessarily on me. The first thing that I do that helps me with managing my money is I just get into the mindset of the expenses that I have for that month in particular. It's not my money. So I don't even consider, like when I consider my monthly income, those fixed expenses, I don't consider that my money. And it helps me because it gets me into a mind frame of this is not your money to spend. So get it out of your mind immediately. The second thing that I like to do each month is I like to make a list of every single thing that I purchased that month. And so I'm not gonna lie, this isn't something that I do like strictly, because I try my best to write down everything, but obviously you're gonna miss a few things every so often. I don't know if any of y'all ever experienced this, but like if you get a straight 100 and you break that, the minute you break that, I guarantee you don't know where all the money gone. I want to keep track of where my money is going so that when it's time to consider like what money I have left to spend, I know where this money was going. The third thing that I try to do is I try to make sure that each month I am saving more than I am spending. I learned this trick, or I don't know if I would call it a trick, but this way of handling finances from the 80-20 rule. And basically what that rule is to save 80% of your income, and then you can spend 20% on what you like. But I don't exactly do it that way, because for my finances that's just not realistic. Like I can't save 80% of my income because I have rent, I have a ton of different bills that take out a chunk of my income. But what I do try to do is I try to make sure after my fixed expenses, I make sure that my leisure money that I have to spend on things that I want is far less than what I'm putting into my savings account. So for number 4, what I like to do is, I feel like number 4 is the biggest thing that I find helps me. And what I do is my monthly income, I like to write that down at the beginning of each month. And then I write down my fixed expenses, I write down what I would like to save, and I write down what I would like to go towards my leisure. So say for example, you make $2,000 each month. That is your income, your monthly income. And then you have a set list of expenses. Now what that set list of expenses is, that is expenses that you have to pay every month regardless of which month it is. So for me, my set list of expenses are rent, tithes, gas, groceries, / food. What else? I think that's it. So after I calculate that, I do not consider that my money. I take that away from my net income. I mean, not net income. I take that away from my monthly income. So like I said at the beginning, say for example, you make $2,000. And then after rent, groceries, gas, food, I don't know, say for example, that's $900. I would only consider what I make monthly $1,100. And after that $1,100, I calculate what I would like to save that month. So for me personally, roughly what I like to save is 40% of my monthly income. 40% of 2,000 is $800. So I would allot $800 to my savings. So I would take $800 away from that $1,100, which would leave me with $300. And that $300 is what I would allot for my leisure. And what leisure is pretty much anything that isn't a direct expense, anything that isn't needed or necessary. It's just money that I use for my enjoyment. So the last thing that I have done to help myself stay on the ball with budgeting and sorting out my finances is I recently opened up a second account. And that account is for my fixed expenses and my leisure funds. I opened an account with the same bank, and that allows me to transfer funds to the second account. It doesn't charge me because obviously it's the same bank. So each month when I get paid, I calculate my fixed expenses and I deposit that money into my second account that is for my immediate expenses. And I also have a debit card, so I don't use the debit card that I used to have with my old account. I leave that home so that I don't get tempted, and I just use the one that is for my immediate expenses. After I already exhaust everything that is on that account for my immediate expenses, ain't nothing else to work with, so I gotta humble myself until the next month roll around and I have that money. Those are all of my tips for budgeting and helping yourself stay on the ball financially and making sure that you do not fall into financial ruin. So thank you guys so much. See you next time.